These balls are thin. All right, guys. Injuries. Devontae Harris had a knee sprain. He never came back. That's all I got now.
You didn't probably make the analytics community real happy with your decision there on the first drive. What was your thinking behind that?
By not going for it?
Yes.
Just how long of a drive it was. I thought it was closer to 2 yards than 1. They have a pretty good run defense there, and when you go that long of a drive, if we would have came out with no points, I thought that would have just given them a lot of momentum and got them going. So I wanted to go for it bad. It was hard for me not to.
When you called the timeout, was it a look that you saw that forced you to call that timeout?
Yeah, it gave me a little more. I called the play, I thought, more out of emotion, and the longer I got to think about it, I just didn't think it was the smartest decision. I wanted to take the points and make sure we got 3 out of it.
Two weeks in a row were just obscenely long drives to start the game. I know you're not necessarily planning it that way, but what is it doing for your team in terms of maybe setting a physical tone?
I think it does a lot. It's hard to go on those long drives. That's why I wanted to score so bad at the end. We've been running the ball pretty consistently, but I think that had to do with third down also. Like when you don't get a big play, but you're running it consistently and you keep making the third downs, that's what you expect to eventually get in. And I thought we did a real good job at that, but we didn't get the third down there instead of 5.
Did you kind of feel like if you gave the Jaguars that opportunity to stop you, that the complete momentum changes and that you could at least just kind of...
Yeah, for it to be to take the whole first quarter, it seemed like, I think there was like a minute left on the clock, to take that whole quarter if we wouldn't have came out with any points. I realized once I called the play, I called it because I wanted to, and in terms of like with your emotion in your heart, and sometimes you got to use your brain too.
And so, in your ear, were you talking? Were you discussing?
No, usually it's crickets in those situations, because I think everyone feels the same. But you never know what's the right answer till after it.
This game had all the makings of a trap game with the short week and the cross country and the early start. What does it say about your team that you put together the stretch you have the last 7 days, especially after the Arizona loss?
I get that's what everyone expects. We didn't expect that. I don't feel like we've ever been that way. I think we've been good on the road. I think we've been good going to the East Coast. We knew how much our backs were against the wall before that Rams game, and we also know that meant nothing if we couldn't win today. So I get how it looks, but I don't think it was very hard to get the guys' attention and ready to play. When we know how that felt when we were losing games, we know how much better it felt versus the Rams, and we didn't want that to end today.
Can I go back to what you just said? You don't know the right answer until after. So do you feel like that was the right answer?
It's better than the wrong answer. I know the wrong answer is when you get 0 points. So at least we were halfway there. And if it would have been closer, I think I would have done it. But, I wanted it to be a yard or inside a yard, and I think it was closer to 2 from what I saw.
Kyle, you said a lot of people were somewhat up in arms about Josh Norman after the Arizona game. You liked the way he actually made plays and liked the way he was playing. Obviously, it must feel good about your decision to stick with him. But, how big is that? Turnovers haven't come a lot for you, but he's been a guy that consistently has created some plays.
Well, yeah, he's done it his whole career, and everyone knows Josh has played at a high level. I think he had close to an MVP year back when he was with Carolina and stuff. So he's been one of the better corners in this league for a while. And yes, he's towards the end where it changes a little bit, but the guy still plays the same way. He is a physical guy who loves playing football. He gives it everything he has, and he's the best I've seen it going for the ball with the peanut punch and everything. He gets us in practice all the time. He's gotten everyone in the league for a long time, and it's cool when he gets the opportunities and he's by the ball. He gets that ball out a very high percentage of the time, and I'm glad guys were running to it. And Fred got on it, right? I think, yeah, and it was a huge momentum for us to get on that ball.
Did you ever, just after that, did you ever have to talk with him, or was it just understood? He lost his cool, it was a mistake, and maybe move on? Did you ever have some meeting with him?
Yeah, I talked to him the next day about it. And he knows what he did wrong on it, and that was his first one here. I think it was the first one on our team, which we don't want any, and that is a big deal. But I also wasn't going to be over dramatic and make an example of someone who had just done it for the first time.
Was your plan ahead of the game to make Debo a running back in the game, or was it just kind of how the game evolved?
We planned on giving him some throughout the game. We usually do. And usually when things work, you come back to them. And we had a couple different things with it and some play actions I think that we got in the third quarter. I think one off of it, but I mean, when he runs the ball that well, it's pretty impressive to have. I think he had almost 10 yards of carry and 8 runs, and his longest was 24. Usually when a receiver does that, it's because they have one like 70-yarder, and Debo was extremely efficient. He got everything and more on those looks, and I think he had one real bad look that he protected the ball and got down.
And then making Williams eligible.
Yep.
Almost.
Almost. It was. I was prepared if he scored for a penalty, which I warned him not to. But yeah, it was close. He did a good job. I thought he got tugged a little bit. I know he did. He was calling for it, but it just wasn't there.
What have you learned about your team the last couple of weeks coming back after that Arizona game?
I mean, after that Arizona game, though, it was pretty low because we were real embarrassed and how we looked. And when we watched the tape, we saw a lot of stuff that we felt we could fix. It wasn't as discouraging as it felt during that game, and I was happy with the guys that instead of getting discouraged, they kept it real and just watched the tape and saw the stuff that we can improve on. And I feel like credit to the guys and some of the coaches that they didn't get down when it's easy to get down. They just kept focused on trying to get better and practicing and just trying to detail stuff up, and I think we've done a better job with that the last 2 weeks.
Did you have a goal for number of carries in this game?
No, I never gave him a goal.
Does it shock you that you were able to get as many?
It does. That's a real good run defense. They commit to the run pretty well. I know that first drive helped out a good amount, and I know us doing good on third down helped out a lot too.
Was part of Debo being so active in the run game a support for Jeff Wilson, just him coming back?
Not really. I mean, it's what we did last week too when Elijah and Jeff were up. And I think we had 4 running backs up last week. He's just good at it, and it causes problems for the defense too when there's a receiver you don't know where he's going to be.
When you look at the games that Brandon Ayuk has had the last 2 weeks, what does it say about him as a player, just how he's been able to get through the adversity?
I mean, I think it says more about him as a person as anything, because we all know BA's a talented dude, but it takes a lot of stuff to be able to play in this league week in and week out. And he started out behind this year, and I know I rode him hard, and his coach did, and a lot of us did, and I just thought it was impressive how being younger, being new to this league, and when things aren't going your right way and people are putting pressure on you, not just outside but inside, a lot of guys tend to point the finger and feel sorry for themselves, and which is what worries you. But you got to wait till the off season, almost bring him back. He wasn't like that. He kept working, kept trying to get better, and I know everyone's seen it these last couple of weeks, but you could see it happening in practice too. He didn't always get the results and the targets and stuff, but we don't really plan that. I thought Debo would get more targets today. It just comes out the way it does, and when you got Ayuk out there playing like a true starting player, Debo, Kittle. I think it's the first time we've had those three weeks in a row. I don't know if it's right, but it seems like since in 2 years almost. I don't know if they've ever been out that many times, week after week. So it's been good. And when they're like that, they're out there more consistently. I think we just get better as a whole with the quarterback. Everyone be more consistent.
I know it's not a top goal of yours, but have you and Trent talked about getting him a TD or a catch? And where is that?
He's been talking to me about it since the day I met him. And he's never had one, and he keeps telling me that. And he's probably as good of a tackle as you could ever have to run a route. But it's tough. That's my first time really doing it, and it didn't work. And when you report as eligible, you can't go in the next play. So calling that is somewhat risky. That's why Trent had to come out, and you don't ever want Trent to come out. But I told him he didn't get open like he always promised me he would, so he's got to keep practicing that route.
So who came in when he had to go out?
Compton did.
Compton.
Or Jalen Moore, whichever one was not in at the time.
Take 3 more.
Obviously, you use Kyle, use Debo as a runner in the past, but not so much, obviously, in the backfield, kind of as a true running back. Is his ability to do so now just a function of he's mastered everything else and now he can add that? Or is there another reason why the last 2 weeks he's done so much?
Debo?
Yeah.
I thought he did it last year. He just didn't get a play that much. He was in and out all of last year, but they didn't count it as carries because you catch the ball and you toss it 3 inches to him. but he ran 7 of those versus the Rams last year in the first game, and I think he ran 4 of them the second game, but they all count as passes. But, I mean, he's been running the ball here. We started to realize how good he was, I think, towards the second half of his rookie year. But we haven't tossed him, so he gets more running stats, and he's continuing to get better at it, so we continue to do more.
I think Emmanuel came out of the game late. Is he okay, injury-wise?
Oh, yeah, he was all right. Yeah, he was a little shook up on that. We took him out to see if he was all right. He was fine, but we just wanted to get Amory some reps, too.
And Trey Lance was okay on his quarterback sneak?
I assume so. I haven't asked him. Was he limping off or anything?
He was a little slow to go.
All right.
How did you feel doing play?
I thought he played well. Yeah, he's very efficient. I thought he made the right plays. Protected the ball, most importantly. Did what he had to do for us to win.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
All right, guys. Thanks.